Hey Joy Chasers, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Joy, an over 50 girly, Gen Xer, and a person who promotes my motto, love who you are and let no one take your joy away. Today, we are going ahead and going through our topic of discussion during these holidays is Grinch Energy. And I want you to think about this. Have you ever read a text and immediately thought, did she really say that? Or did you look at your phone to read that text again and say, girl, I don't have time for that today? If you have, or if you thought about that before, that was called Grinch Energy. Grinch Energy does not mean you are a mean person. Most of the time, it means you're tired, you're overstimulated, you're disappointed, or you're just carrying too much and your patience is running on low. We're keeping the Grinch theme from last Sunday. From last Sunday's episode. And if you did not get the opportunity to view my Grinch weekend unwind, go on my channel and look for that, and I know that you will thoroughly enjoy it. But getting back to what we're talking about today, we're going to go a little deeper. Okay, the deeper thought is, what does Grinch Energy look like? What causes it? How it shows up in real life? And how to shift to that joy energy. Grinch Energy is when you're in the protection mode. It's when your nervous system is like, no, I'm on guard. So you take things more personally. You assume the worst. You get irritated fast. And you start thinking everybody is doing too much. But joy energy is not pretending life is perfect, okay? Joy energy is being present plus making a choice to be happy or to have joy. It's when you're grounded enough to respond instead of reacting. When you react to something very quickly without thinking, that's Grinch energy. When you pause for a minute and say, how should I handle this? That's joy energy. When you have joy energy, you can still be honest, but still have boundaries and still say no if you need to, without being sharp or shutting things down. Grinch energy says, I'm trying to survive this moment, so I'm going to be snappy. Joy energy says, I'm going to lead this moment. Let's make this more real for you. I want to say, when you think about Grinch energy, it shows up in ways people don't always call out, because it can look normal, but you can feel it in your body. You become the tone police. You start hearing attitude in everything, and you start giving attitude back. When I say you start hearing it, when someone is saying something to you, you're like, I'm hearing this attitude in this person, so I'm going to give that same energy back to that person.
Think about me, whether I want to or not, I'm always going to catch shade. I catch shade between other people. I catch shade coming at me. I catch shade around me. I'm just getting better at learning what not to address and what to let ride.
But that may not be your intent, or that may not be the intent of that person when you're talking to them. But because you are showing signs of that Grinch energy, like we said before, you're irritated, you're disappointed, lots of things can be going on in your life, or lots of things can be going on just for that day, and you then have that Grinch energy. When you have Grinch energy, tiny things feel huge to you. The smallest inconvenience become more of a character test. Maybe a person may ask you something very, very simple, and you feel like you have been interrupted, and you're going to say, well, why are you asking me that? Or why am I required to be available to you today? And they could just be asking you something very, very simple. You get very short with them and shady with them, not honest with them. That's Grinch energy. Instead of saying I'm overwhelmed, you become shady. Instead of saying I need a minute, you go quiet and cold, or you give a very smart alecky remark. Grinch energy is all about keeping score. I do that, you do that to me, I do it back to you. You say that to me, I'm gonna say that to you. You give me some shade, I'm definitely gonna give you some shade back, okay? That is your Grinch energy. You feel when you're giving this off that the person deserves exactly what they're getting.
Discernment lets you catch the shade, but maturity keeps you from responding to it.
No one is exempt from Grinch energy, including joy chasers. No one is excluded from that. You can be a loving person and still have Grinch energy. You can have joy in your heart and still have Grinch energy. That is why we're talking it out today, so you can recognize it. And when you do recognize it, you can start to try to change the things that you're seeing that is happening. So this is the deep part of what Grinch energy is really protecting, because we now know some of the signs of Grinch energy, but let's talk about why we have it. What are we trying to protect when we have Grinch energy? When you think about it, Grinch energy is usually going to give you a sign. It's not the truth about who you are. It's information about what you need. The number one root cause is burnout. When you've been strong for a very long time, whether that is with your family, with your job, whatever it may be, you stop being sweet when you have Grinch energy. Not because you're bad, but just because you're just tired. Okay? And again, this does not belong to people who are just, as we say, bad people. It's anyone. The number one cause of having that type of energy is that burnout. Second cause is unspoken needs. You need help with something, you need support with it, and you need reassurance, but you keep saying, I'm good, nothing's wrong, I'm okay. I know. I did that a lot in my younger years, especially when on the job, it's like, okay, your job is requiring so much of you, and you're like, okay, give it to me, because I want to get a promotion. I want people to view me as being that number one person that can really, really do the job. So I always like, oh, I got it, I'm good. But then you get burnt out, and when you get burnt out, you have unspoken needs. You then need to rest. You then need to show like, I need some help, but you're not asking for it. So what do? You get shady. You get irritated. You get snappy. All of those things turn into Grinch energy. Another root cause of Grinch energy is feeling unseen. When you feel unseen, you feel like nobody acknowledges what you do, what you sacrifice, what you carry. So resentment shows up as protection. So when someone is talking to you, you snappy, and they're like, what? Girl, what's wrong with you? And you're like, oh, I'm good. And you know you're not good, okay? So feeling unseen is a reason to have that Grinch energy. Another reason would be disappointment. A lot of Grinch energy is in disappointment. And the reason it is because you maybe was expecting better. You expected more effort, but you didn't get that. You expected more clarity, but you didn't get that. And so when you don't get the things that you're expecting, You armor up. Okay. And sometimes the Grinch, when they are disappointed, they feel hurt. They feel like they have to protect themselves. Again, the Grinch isn't mean. It's just in protective mode. We all can be a Grinch sometimes.
People seen it, but they just don't know.
What I told you, Cutter.
People seen it, but they just don't know. People seen it, but they just don't know. People,
Let's go.
people seen it, but they just don't know.
When I think I might be in a Grinch mood, I first spot the sign or the Grinch energy because they have telltale signs, like viewing everything as disrespect. If you are viewing everything as disrespect, you got Grinch energy. If you're feeling irritated by normal questions that someone may ask, that's Grinch energy. If you're ready to cut your friend off immediately and basically dismiss them for the rest of your life, that is Grinch energy. That's not a personality trait. That's just giving you a sign that, hey, I got Grinch energy. Let me reverse that so I can now have joy energy. You need to find the root cause of why you're having these things.
All right, I'll go. But I'll be fashionably late. No, yes, no, yes. No, yes. Definitely not. All right, I've made my decision. I'm going, and that's that.
I ask questions like, what is this really? Like when I read something on a text message or on an email from someone, I'm going to say, okay, what are they really trying to say? Because irritation is usually a covered type of emotion. Under it might be disappointment, hurt, embarrassment, loneliness, and overwhelming feelings. So once you name the real feeling, then stop fighting it. Know that that's Grinch energy and know how to change it. When I'm trying to find the route that I'm going to take, I need to clarify. Like, for an example, hey, I might be reading this wrong. What do you mean by this? So that may be an email or a text message. After I clarify, I need to delay, especially if I'm going to say something snappy. I want to respond, with a clear head, and then I'll get back to you. So if you had a question and you thought it was a little something you were going to react to, have that reactive type of energy, you can ask yourself, hey, I want to respond to that. But let me get a clear head about it and then I'll get back to you. Sometimes we don't do that and we're quickly to respond. I know sometimes I can do that. Instead of, doing that, pause and, respond later to it, or just say, hey, let me think about this a little bit and then I'll get back to you. And then that way you're able to calm yourself down and then figure it out. Another thing you definitely need to do is to set yourself some boundaries, especially when people want to call you or if they want to interrupt your family time or your spouse time or your me time. They want you to respond to them regardless. They call your phone 20 times. They'll keep texting you 50 times just so you can respond. And if you're that type of person that's texting and calling like that, think about what you're doing. You could be really interrupting someone's life and maybe they need a break. Maybe they know you call and sometimes they don't even hear it and then they'll get to it later. So give them a break and set yourself some boundaries because they're definitely doing that. If they're not responding to you, that means they're setting boundaries and letting you know, like, no, I'm not going to respond right now. I'll get back to you later. After you have done all of these things, you want to definitely make sure that you repair whatever you have done. So if you had a sharp tongue, apologize for that. if you deem it necessary to apologize, because sometimes people tell you, go ahead and apologize. Sometimes it may not be an apology that is needed. It may be something else that is needed. And then once you figure out how to repair whatever you have done, whatever has come out sharp, but you shouldn't have, then reset. Because joy chasing isn't pretending you're fine. It's choosing the route that doesn't create regret. All right, joy chasers, thank you so much for showing up today. So if you like this, please give me a like on the screen on your television, or if you are watching on your phone, give me a like to the right with a thumbs up, and I would truly appreciate it. Remember to love who you are and let no one take your joy away. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy holidays, and don't have Grinch energy. Always have joy energy.
When you choose to let it glow, Grinch or glow. Oh, what's your choice? Will you frown or raise your voice? Sing the cheer or steal the snow? Grinch or glow. Now let it show. The Grinch will claim it's safer there in shadows cold without a care. But joy's a risk worth every leap, a treasure vast yet yours to keep. So deck the halls, don't hide away. Let your heart light up the day. When you give the magic stars a fire kindled in your heart, let the world around you know you've chosen joy. You've chosen